Hi there, this is Ranjit, and in this video we'll be doing the unboxing and have a first look at this LE Eco LE Max 2. And if you see the box, it says that this is the 4 GB RAM variant that comes with 32 gigabytes of internal storage, and the pricing is not listed, but the 4 GB model that has 4 GB of RAM is going to be sold via Flipkart for 23,000. They also have one more variant that comes with 6 GB of RAM, and in fact this box was opened, though it says 4 GB, it's the 4 GB RAM model, but I did open the box, and this one they have sent me this review on it is actually a 6 GB RAM model. I think so that will be sold for around 28,000. So this is the device itself, and we have this TPU cover that is pre-applied. Let's take that out. So it's just that soft plastic rubberish cover that we are getting. So this is the phone itself, and it is very similar to the LE2, I have to say, just bigger in size. This one is having a 5.7 inch screen, which is a Quad HD display. So let's look what else do we get. Apart from this, we also get this headphones bundle in this. I've already taken it out with this one because this one does not have a 3.5 mm headphone jack. So you get this bundle. It's a USB type C headphones, and I have to say, though they sound decent, but they were sort of uncomfortable. They just come in this nice looking box. So you also get this one, and apart from this, what do we have? We have some paperwork, and we just get what do you say, USB to USB type C cable, and we also get this again a 3.5 mm headphone adapter. I'm not very sure if we actually get this bundled in the box because this came as a separate, it was outside the box. So I'm hoping that they bundled it at least with the max 6 GB variant, because that's going to be sold for about 28,000. And we also get this charger, which is supposed to be a fast charger. And as you can see, yes, it's a fast charger. It outputs at 5 volts, 9 volts, and even at 12 volts. At 12 volts it can output at 2 amps, so that is very interesting, and at 9 volts it can output at 2.7 amps. So this should really quickly charge this device, because the battery is just a 3100 milliamp hour battery. So let me keep these things to the side and let's look at the handset itself. So this is the handset itself, and again, as I've told you, if you have used any LE1 or even the LE2, it's very similar to that. It's just bigger in size and slightly heavier, obviously. And let me give you a physical overview first. On the top, we have the IR blaster. This will help you in controlling devices like televisions, etc., remote control functionality. We also have the volume rocker, which gives a good tactile feel, a power on off button. And on the bottom we have two vents and the USB type C port. I am assuming only one port would be the speaker, and on this end we have the slot for inserting your nano sims. Again guys, this 6 GB RAM model comes with 64 gigabytes of internal storage, but the 4 GB RAM model comes with 32 gigabytes of internal storage and no micro SD card slot, so that you have to be aware of that. And let me quickly just power this on, give me haptic feedback. Finally, they get the branding right for India, that is LE Eco. And by the time it actually boots up, let me give you a configuration overview. This LE2 Max is powered by the Snapdragon 820 chipset, which is a quad-core processor. It comes with the 4 or 6 gigabytes of RAM. The 4 GB RAM model comes with 32 gigabytes of internal storage, whereas the 6 GB RAM model comes with 64 gigabytes of internal storage. It has a 5.7 inch Quad HD display. The GPU is the Adreno 530 GPU. Moving to the camera, it has a 21 megapixel rear facing camera with f2.0 lens, and the front facing camera is a 8 megapixel shooter with f2.2 lens. It also has 24-bit audio DAC, and it also has fingerprint, and it also has a 3100 milliamp hour battery. We can also add a fingerprint because it has a fingerprint scanner. So I'm just trying to set that up. You just tap in multiple times. It gives haptic feedback whenever you tap in. This is very similar to the LE2. It's on the back, and should be done. Multiple tries, and it says it's done. You can also add more fingerprints if you want, and I'll just continue. So this is the first boot of this device. It's been set up, and to give you an idea, guys, this is the 6GB RAM model. If we go over here, as you can see, it says 6GB, and out of that 6GB of RAM, we get about 4.3GB that's available to us. So it'll be interesting to see how it does multitasking, and I'll also compare it with the OnePlus 3 because that also has 6GB of RAM when I do my review. So again, typical custom UI that this one has, the EUI. Not a big fan of it. Even to go to the quick settings, you have to hit this multitasking button, and the toggles are over here, the quick toggles and stuff. And let's look at the settings. And if you go to about the device, as you can see, this is running on the Snapdragon 820 chipset, so again, you're getting the latest chipset, and the Android version is 6.0.1. So that is what we are getting. Let's also look at the storage. Out of that 64GB, how much do we actually get? And out of that 64, the available space that you're going to get is about 52GB. So that is what you're going to get. Again, no micro SD card slot option. So the storage is what you get. And we have this 3 touch type capacitive buttons at the bottom, and they light up whenever you touch it. So it's the same, I would say. It's slightly heavier, I would say, but manageable in my opinion. And let's look at if this one also has that screen wobbling issue that I had on the LE2. No, this one is a lot better, I would say, at least the 6GB RAM model. With the LE2, if you have watched my other videos, the screen was flexing when you press hard on it. So that was it. So this is not having that issue. So good to see that. And again, there is not a lot of bloatware. Yes, file manager and stuff. And they also have this their LE TV apps and stuff like that. You can get TV content and stuff. You have to register for that. So that is what it is. Let's quickly also look at the browsing. I'm sure it will be really good because it's having that massive 6GB of RAM and the Snapdragon, what do you say, 820 chipset. So this is the default keyboard that we are getting. So it's the Google keyboard by default that we are getting, and gives haptic feedback whenever you use it. So let's try to go to the desktop side. Again, as expected, it's good. So touch response is also good, as you can see. So let's now quickly look at the camera, because the camera has changed. Now it is having a 21 megapixel shooter. And let's see, again, the interface is the same as earlier Leco phones, so that's not changed. So let's play around with this one, and we have that same tap to focus. And this time I noticed that with earlier Leco phones, whenever you used to actually use the tap to focus, it used to overexpose. But looks like that's not the problem with this one. As you can see, I'm focusing on this one. And so I have taken some sample shots. So let's quickly look at it. And looks like auto rotation is disabled. I know, yeah, auto rotate was disabled. So let's go. So as you can see, we just took these snaps, and initial impressions, the picture quality looks to be good. But again, we also get that slight bokeh effect. As you can see, I was focusing on this droid and the background is slightly blurred. So I have to test the camera a lot more. But initial impressions, the camera looks to be pretty decent. The front facing camera is supposed to be a 8 megapixel shooter. So guys, that's it for now for the unboxing and quick look at this LE2 Max. If you have any other specific questions around this device, do post them in the YouTube comments below, and I'll try to include them in my review. Thanks for watching. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video.